Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 5th, presented by Mercury. Hey, folks, summer's about here, but the weather's not cooperating. We're going to talk to the guys, Tracy Robinson, Josh Herron, and Tom Ott, about how they're having to adjust to some of these funky weather conditions we're having. But stay tuned. We'll be right back with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 5th. Let's hear what the guys have to say. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 5th, presented by Mercury. We're going to head on up to that big Tennessee River impoundment in the sky. Tom Ott, what do you got going on up there at Guntersville this week?
Man, I'm telling you, Dano, Mother Nature, I love the woman, but good night. What has she done to us this year? It's just been one thing after another. This past weekend we had cold weather. After 90-degree weather, it's just, I don't even know if the fish know what's going on, I have to be honest with you. But, I got out over the week and was able to catch some fish. I do think you can about go anywhere and do whatever you want to catch them. If you like to fish shallow, fish shallow. If you want to fish deep, you're going to find some fish out deep. They are just scattered all over the place. I've had a hard time kind of finding big groups, but I'm sure they're there. But, we're still at 74, low 74 degree water temps right now. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's the wildest year I think I've had.
So it sounds like you want to go be a junk fisherman, and you might have a frog bite at some point. You might have a flip bite. You might have a wacky rig Senko. You might have a 6XD or a 10XD tied on and a big worm and then a Magnum shaky head at the same time with a football jig next to it.
That's exactly right. I'm telling you, I caught fish on Carolina rig last week, and I was also stroking a jig up in 5 foot of water. So you tell me, I don't know.
All right. So the bass fishermen are going to be a little bit manic. So tell me what's going on with the crappie bite up there. Are we still be able to catch a few?
I think you can right now. Given the temperatures, those fish are still hanging around those bridge pilings and that kind of thing. There's a lot of activity around the bridges right now. I think probably the biggest thing, the brim are on their way out. They were, last weekend it was on like Donkey Kong. And those things have kind of started to slow down, move out to the deeper water. And I think the crappie are going to follow them too, just keep with the fry. But, yeah, absolutely. Guntersville is just one of those places. It's a magical place where you can do all kinds of things, catch fish year round. And of course, being in the South, it's like golf. You can do it all year long. But this year has been just a little bit different for us. But, get out there, enjoy it, be safe on the water. The boat traffic's definitely picking up, which always makes ledge fishing fun anyway. So,
well, it sounds kind of like fishing on Guntersville might be like drinking a bottle of Crystal Drano. Can sure be a lot of fun, but it certainly will leave you hollow inside. Tom, thanks for spending some time with us. We appreciate all the fun, and we'll talk to you again next week.
All right, Dano, you have a great one, man. It's always a pleasure talking with you.
All right, bye-bye. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 5th, presented by Mercury. Hey, we're going to head on down to Logan Martin and Lay Lake with Josh Herron from Reaction Innovations and our good friend Josh. Tell me what you got going on down there on Logan Martin right now.
Man, I think the bluegill are kind of finishing up is the main gig. Last weekend, we got a bunch of cold weather in, which I think we were right on the edge of a mayfly hatch. So I think that's what you're going to see a bunch of in the next 2 weeks or so. And then you're going to start seeing those fish kind of head out to their abyss to avoid boat traffic for the duration of the summer.
Yeah, it seems like just 2 weeks ago, there was a little bit of everything going on. You could see some guys fishing shallows. You could see some guys fishing offshore. But there wasn't a whole lot of consistency to everything. And I know we talked last week about that. But as we progress a little bit further here, when everything starts to stabilize, it's going to get to be a pretty standard thing, correct?
Yeah, man. It's Coosa River's always junk fishing anyway. Doesn't matter the given day. There's a strong possibility you're not going to go do one thing all day anyway. Mm-hmm. But like I said, right now it's still, they're in, they're out, they're in between. You got fish everywhere. There's just not a lot of fish anywhere, which it makes for a grind of a day sometimes. Some days you have a great day. Sometimes it's pretty well sucks. But like I said, it's there's still fish to be caught, but you've got a lot of fish that are they're kind of hung up in that limbo phase where they already should be kind of pointed in that direction, which is crazy considering Memorial Day weekend. I fished all day in a hoodie.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's going to get better. Like I said, you're kind of right in a really weird hung up phase, but I mean, there's still fish to be caught.
Lay Lake, kind of the same type of deal. Going to look for some shallow coosa grass in the mornings, maybe, and then kind of whatever you got to do the rest of the day.
I'm boycotting that place right now. We're going to talk about Logan Martin. Had all of Lay Lake and the wake setters I want. If you fish down there, best of luck to you.
Well, it sounds like boat traffic is going to be an issue anywhere you go right now. So, folks, be safe out there on the water. And Josh, as always, man, we appreciate all the help and all the insights that you provide.
Got you, man. Just remember, port to port, children on inner tubes, don't drag them in front of bass boats.
There you go.
All right,
talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Bye. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 5th, presented by Mercury. Well, we're going to connect with Tracy Robinson, our good friend and pro staffer from right here at Bucks Island. Tracy, why don't you tell us what's going on at Weiss Lake right now?
Weiss Lake, not so bad. A lot of those fish have moved out on the ledges over there. I still hear, some guys struggling, but the ones that are catching them are actually catching them pretty good. I'm starting to bunch up a little bit on some of the hard places out there in that 10 to 15 foot range. Preferably, I'm throwing the crankbait, the 5XD, 6XDs, but I know you could slow down and drag the Carolina rig, ball and chain, drag a jig around a little bit and catch those same fish. But they are setting up pretty nicely on some of those hard points. Not really out on the deep river type ledge stuff, but on those first hard points, just like on all the coast rivers, you can always catch them shallow. Dano, that mayfly hatch, I think Josh had mentioned that in his fishing report, for down south, but same thing coming at Weiss. And every time that happens, those seawalls and around those brim that are eating those willow flies, that's going to be a pretty good little bite there over the next probably 2 to 3 weeks with that as well. But not so bad at Weiss right now.
Okay, so talk to me about Neely Henry. How is that going to apply to a place like Neely Henry that kind of the water is unstable and it's moving a little bit?
Yeah, Neely's been a little bit tougher over the past week, and I heard several mention about the boat traffic out there. But I noticed at Bucks there are not many boats out there. Well, I found them all this weekend, and they were all on Neely Henry.
Yes,
exactly. So I know where all your boats are at.
Yes,
but it was really crowded. But I make that point because Neely way more of a river than the rest of these lakes we're talking about, and the mud line and the banks are really after about 9 o'clock in the morning, it's pretty much over out there on the banks of the main river. But I have been able to get off the main river a little bit and get out of those mud lines and still get bit. You're having to get into that really trashy stuff, the thick clumps of grass, the lay downs, and the really thick stuff. The fish are just kind of hunkered down in that limbo that several other people have mentioned, in the past few weeks, but they are in that limbo on Neely. They really haven't made a big transition, which they don't really make a huge transition on Neely either because it's such of a river. But even getting to those summertime places, they still haven't really made that move yet. Shallow, it's a grind. Keep your bait in the water, and you got to stay ready all the time because there's not a lot of bites, but when you do get bit in that thick stuff, it's a quality fish.
Well, Tracy, as always, man, we appreciate it. You can catch a few crappie around docks still, but they're not going to be great ones, and maybe even a few break. Yes. But anyway, talk to you soon. We appreciate everything, and good luck out there this weekend.
Thank you, sir. Have a good week.
Well, that'll do it for your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 5th, presented by Mercury. Thanks to the guys for everything that they have to share. Folks, don't forget to be safe out there on the water as summer gets closer. More boats, more boats, more boats. Tracy joked they're not in our Bucks Island parking lot because everybody's out on the water. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe and like everything that we got going on here in our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And then if you need anything for your fishing pleasure, come see us up here at Bucks Island in the loft. We'll do what we can to make sure you got everything that you need to put a few more fish in your boat, whatever you like to target. Thanks again for spending this time with us, and we will talk to you again next week.